444. It's a set of numbers that has an important, significant impact on my life personally. April 4th, 2004. It's a day that I will never forget. I found myself living in Solder City. Who knows where Solder City is located? I got about 3 hands. Awesome. Solder City is a suburb just north of Baghdad, Iraq. I was in the midst of a 12-year military career as an active duty soldier in the U.S. Army. Thank you. In this particular year, I was on a combat tour in Iraq as part of Operation Iraqi Freedom. And on this particular day, I was in trouble. As a staff sergeant in the Army, I had a group of soldiers that I was in charge of. Unfortunately, one of my soldiers made a very big mistake. He had misplaced a very important and very expensive piece of equipment. And as his leader, I had to take him and go see our commander and explain how we let this mistake happen. It was a long walk. Not really, but it felt like a really long walk. Because in my mind, I'm asking myself, man, is he going to chew my head off? Is he going to take my rank? I didn't know what to expect. But all those fears started to melt away as sirens began to go off all around me. I began to see soldiers running to and fro, and I was trying to find out what's going on. And that's when I heard, Charlie Company's under attack. We have to go help. So my soldier and I, we got our stuff and we ran back over to our area where our soldiers were, where our weapons were, where our vehicles were, and we got ourselves together, and then we went to go look for my vehicle, the one that I was in charge of, the one that I was assigned to. But unfortunately, that vehicle had already taken off. And so we had to hop on the back of another vehicle just to go and help. That was the longest 48 hours of my life. Constant gunfire, bloodshed. It seemed like it was never going to end. Come to find out that that very vehicle that I was supposed to be seated in, the one that I was in charge of, the one that I wasn't in only because I was dealing with my soldier's mistake, every last person that was in the vehicle that day got shot. And I didn't. I made it through that battle. I made it through several more battles after that. Eventually, I made it through the entire tour. 12 months later, I was back in the United States. I made it back by the grace of God in one piece, and I was grateful for that. But on the inside, I was still a bit broken. I was struggling with understanding why I made it back, but 13 of my fellow soldiers in my unit didn't. I was asking a lot of questions like, why did I have to go through that? What was the point of me experiencing all those things? And if I'm honest, I didn't get the answers to those questions. But despite that fact, there was still one thing that I knew without a shadow of a doubt. As a result of going through that, I knew that I was here for a reason.
636, our wedding day. It was a day that I dreamt of as a little girl with butterflies in my stomach. But little did I know, 3 months prior to that special day, my soon-to-be husband was going to drop a bomb on me. You see, he lied to me. He told me that he had more debt than he led me to believe. I was devastated. The amount of pain, hurt, frustration I felt was immeasurable. I could not stop asking God, why me? And how could you do this to me? Although I had a lot of questions and not a lot of answers, one thing I did know was that I and we were here for a reason.
Not only are we here for a reason, But the truth is, you're here for a reason. You're here for a purpose. You're on this earth. You're in Orlando, Florida. You're at FinCon. You're in this room for a reason. A lot of you have come here with some ambitious goals. You know that FinCon is the place to help you grow the thing that you do. Maybe you've come here because you want to learn how to get more page views, or you want to expand your social media reach, or you want to be a better podcaster, better financial coach. You want to build brand partnerships. All those are great goals. We have very similar goals ourselves. Underneath that, for a lot of people, though, is one word. They want success. Who would like to be more successful than they are right now? There's nothing wrong with that. We desire success as well. But what we have learned since the inception of His and Her Money is that there is something much greater than chasing success. Instead of chasing success, from the very beginning of our company, we have always focused on making an impact. Because we have found that having an impact on someone's life brings all the other things that we were chasing anyway. We decided that if one person would show up and watch a video that we created, or if one person showed up and listened to one podcast that we created, or one person decided to read one of our blog posts, we were going to give that person everything that we had with one goal in mind: to make an impact on their lives. Will you commit to the same?
You know, I can't help but to think, what if that wedding day never happened? Because it almost didn't. The marriages that would not have been saved, the lives that would not have been saved, literal lives. There was one particular day that we decided to go live on social media. And on this particular day, there was a young lady on the opposite side of the screen. She typed back to us that she was contemplating taking her life. We stopped everything we were doing because at that point, nothing was important but her life. And we began to pray for her. You see, that very same young lady is alive today, and she's thriving, and she's a part of our community to this very day. But not all stories end that pretty. As a matter of fact, I was here in Orlando 2 weeks ago, and a particular lady ran up to me. "I know who you are. Oh my gosh, you're Tai from His and Her Money." And as I began to reach out my hand to cordially introduce myself, I noticed her smile turn to a frown. And I noticed her voice begin to tremble. And she said, "If only I would have found you sooner, then maybe my 25-year marriage could have been saved." I was shocked and speechless. But at that moment, I began to think in my mind, well, there's still hope, isn't there? But before I can get that thought completely out of my mouth, she responded, "He passed 3 years ago in a tragic accident." As I went back to my hotel room that night, I could not stop thinking about her story. And there was almost a fire that lit in the inside of me. And I said, next time, we have to tell our story quicker and faster.
So what's the common denominator between these two stories? It's the level of impact that we were able to have. Our level of impact from our story was able to help one person. It came right at the moment that she needed it the most. But unfortunately, the level of impact that we created didn't reach this couple in time to save their marriage. It's important to know the power that each one of you possess. Because whether you know it or not, the reason you're here is to have a powerful impact on the lives of the people that read your blogs, listen to your shows, watch your videos, trust your advice. Success is great, but it's only a byproduct of the impact that you can have on people's lives. you all are going to get a ton of valuable information as being a part of this great conference. But in every session that you go to, in every hand that you shake, every business card you exchange, let impact be what guides you. Let your desire to change someone's life for the better be the motivating factor. Because your advice, your story, your platform can bring hope to people who are lost. The research is everywhere showing just how abysmal people's understanding of personal finance really is. Marriages are literally falling apart. Lives are literally being lost. Poverty is going from generation to generation because they're waiting on your impact in this world. We want you from this day forward, no matter what blog post you write, no matter what video you create, no matter what podcasts you make, no matter what clients you coach, what brand you partner up with, focus on helping people to fulfill their destiny. Focus on making an impact. You're more powerful than you think. Do us a favor. Turn to your neighbor really quickly and repeat after me. Now say this: you matter.
You matter.
Your story matters.
Your story matters.
Your impact matters.
Your impact matters.
Now let's change the world together. Let's use our stories, every part of it, to not only change the world, but it's important that when we share our stories, that we don't just share the highlights. We don't just share the joy and the happiness, but we also take our shame
and take our pain
and make an impact on this world. Thank you, FinCon.
Thank you, FinCon.